Package Podcast. It's time for another perfect package. I'm Chad.
And today joining you is in fact your boy Dave.
Again.
Oh yeah.
Again.
Yeah, I keep coming back. I'm not gonna stop until
34 episodes. You've come back 34 times.
I mean, somebody's gonna kick me out eventually, I'm sure. But until then.
33.
Oh, there you go. 33. So now I have to be back next week. Because you've already declared that I will have been back on 34, so you fucked yourself. You can't kick me off now.
Oh man. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. You probably heard it at the top of the show. We'll explain it now. We got a sponsor.
Which mind-boggling to me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that they've done their research.
I don't think they have either, but that's cool. Yeah, we are now, as it says, powered by Poddex. Poddex is cards. Got a selection of cards here from Poddex. They're interview questions. They're intended for podcasters, broadcasters, anybody that does any kind of thing like this. And but everybody can use them. I got them last week. There's the beer kicking in. I got them last week and started at dinner. We sat around and fanned through a few cards and just kind of asked the questions at dinner, and it was actually quite entertaining. They also have a what the heck collection, some would you rather cards, and they have an episode deck. Not necessarily the kind of episodes that we do, but definitely some inspiration for future episodes or maybe little side episodes we can do.
Oh yeah, you probably remix them up, have some fun with it, and find some things to talk about. That's for damn sure. The card you showed me, I was pretty interested in it. It really did inspire. Like, well, damn, there's some stories behind the answers to that question.
I've since last week I have been doing since I got these cards, I've actually been on our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/P3 show. We've been posting question of the day and just kind of getting people engaged like that. And we've used some of them. Here's one that we used that was kind of fun. What words or phrases do you most overuse?
Ooh, I didn't actually see that one. I've been kind of checking in, but I didn't see that one. Damn. What are some of the words or phrases that I most overuse? Well, I think most people who know me, like when I get in a conversation where I'm trying to move things along, I don't know if it's overused, but I think one time is too many, and that's any hoozles.
Any hoozles.
Yeah, I don't. It's not obviously not an actual word, but yeah, let's be like any hoozles, and just like I don't. That's one that I enjoy. It's a fun little word for me. But when I'm in the mood to use it, I use it too damn much.
Okie dokes. That's my. That's one I do a lot.
Okie dokes.
Okie dokes.
Okay. Now I'm gonna be seeing it all the time. It's like when you buy.
Yeah, you're gonna be tuned in. Yeah.
You're like, I thought this was a fresh car that nobody had. Apparently, everybody has this car.
Everybody.
I'm just gonna be hearing okie dokes everywhere. All right.
So yeah, shout out to Poddex. We're now powered by Poddex.
Those are also the types of games that make for a ton of fun when you're just meeting people for the first time and you're trying to kick off like the good conversation. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're like, okay, we've had a little bit of time. We've kind of done my name is, what do you do for work? Okay, cool. And then you're like, I want to start a weird one. I want to know some interesting shit about this person. Pull out your pod deck and be like, where was the last place that you slept that wasn't a bed?
Yeah, and just take both decks, because there's 2 interview decks, 50 cards each, shuffle it up into one big thing and start pulling them out at random. And next time you're sitting around drinking with your buddies, you think you know your friends.
You'll learn some shit.
Well, there's one, and spoilers, it'll be coming to the Facebook one pretty soon, but I thought it was a great question. If you had to delete all but 3 apps off of your phone, what 3 would you keep?
Oh, that's easy. That's actually easy for me. YouTube, Snapchat, and my third, my Wisvis banking app. That's it. I need to know about my money.
I would say I would probably do if it counts as an app, but the internet browser, because then I can get to all the other shit.
Okay.
You know, banking app, that's a great one. I don't know. Beyond that, and then some kind of a stupid, mindless, like tappy game. I like those mindless. Just
there's nothing wrong with that. They do keep you occupied. It's funny because I do play a lot of video games, and I remember like I think it was maybe 5-6 years ago when maybe it might have been longer than 5 or 6 years ago when those like just stupid tappy games became really popular, and they were just like, we're just gonna make a shit ton of these. And I was giving somebody shit for playing one. I think it was literally Cookie Clicker, which that game is tap the screen, the game. That's the whole point. You don't do anything else. Your upgrades are, well, when you tap the screen now, it does double the cookies. And when you tap the screen now, it does triple the cookies. And you're just like, what else do you do besides tap the screen to make cookies? Nothing. Nothing. That's what you do. And I was giving somebody shit, and they were like, well, what do you play? And I was like, well, I play this game, and I play that game. And they're like, so you're clicking buttons for goals. And I was like, what? Shit. They're like, yeah, boil down any game you play. What's the overall goal? You click buttons to accomplish goals. And if you're playing a game that allows you to improve your character power, you're doing it so that you can click the buttons to accomplish your goals faster. That's Cookie Clicker. You're playing Cookie Clicker. I was just like, get the fuck out of my house. Don't you ruin this for me. But yeah, every game is Cookie Clicker. That's what I learned.
So tonight, our theme, our package tonight.
It's a package. It is a bringing together of ideas in the pursuit of a greater passion for some people.
Yeah. Now, Comic-Con just got canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the big conventions have been nixed.
Dragon Con has not yet been canceled.
It's far enough out that we might dodge that bullet.
Possibly. I don't know that in late August it's going to be a good idea for 90,000 plus people to be congregating in a 5-block area in downtown Atlanta. Probably not. But so far it hasn't been canceled.
So there is hope.
A new hope.
A new hope. So tonight we are going to I don't know how to say this. We're going to give you a con, not a Comic-Con, because there are different types of conventions. They're like Dragon Con and PAX, and we want to make a fan convention. The perfect fan convention.
Which I find interesting because, like, a lot of conventions are supposedly fan conventions. Like, you would know this better than I because you actually lived out in that area. But San Diego Comic-Con, did you ever actually go?
I went when I went a couple of times, and this was late 90s. So it was not what it is now.
Exactly. It seems weird to me for conventions, a lot of them, where they struggle to strike that balance between, if we're going to get these celebrities out here, we got to give them a reason. And a lot of them are just like, we're not coming out just for some nerds to ogle at us and ask us dumb questions. They go on like a press tour, and there's all kinds of other reasons for them to be there. There are releases of trailers and all this other good stuff as these conventions have gotten bigger. So they don't really, they do function as fan conventions, but at the same time, they're kind of like, all right, they're fan conventions, but really they're press tours.
Yeah.
So we're building a fan convention. This is for the fans.
Yeah. So it's not a niche type of convention. These are the kind of conventions you go to when you want to are you all right? He's dying.
You go ahead.
So this is I remember growing up, there was it was the car shows. That's where they used to get you, was they would have the car shows, and they would have different panels and speeches and activities with different celebrities there. And oh, Dave. They want you in quarantine for coughing too much.
Don't worry about me. Everything's fine. You ever had gin in your lungs? You're coughing like this too.
So yeah, growing up, it was like the car shows had all of the celebrities, and it was usually they were past their peak. If you're at the car show, you're about 10 to 15 years past your prime.
That far? Okay. Damn.
Well,
a car show is pretty like, oof, you are scraping the bottom of the barrel at that point.
And what we're creating tonight is like, it's not even a car show. It's just people are shelling out money to go see famous people.
I feel like this is like, what was that movie? Galaxy Quest?
Yes.
This is that level where it's just like, you're here, and the only thing you have going on is your presentation, and then a line of people waiting to get something signed, and they're going to ask you questions that are way too in depth. Like, yo, why do you know that? Why do you know that level questions? That's going to be our convention.
Yeah. I've got some presentations set up. I've got some activities, some things that might be there.
Oh yeah, I think that's important. Like, I've been to a bunch of conventions, and the biggest thing about like the celebrities there is, I don't want to just see you out and about. That's weird, because I don't feel good just approaching a celebrity out and about and being like, "Hey, I'm a big fan of yours." Because that feels like a dick thing to do. They're probably on the way to go do something else. You don't need to be slowing them up and stopping them. And so I want to see them in a panel or at a signing or something like that. Now, the only exception to that was I met Patrick Rothfuss once. Great author. If you've never read any Patrick Rothfuss, I suggest it. The Name of the Wind's great. I had quotes on his wall, or quotes of his on my wall when I was a teacher. In any case, I met Patrick Rothfuss once, and we talked to him for a while because I was teaching at the time, and Patrick Rothfuss is a professor. And so we had a conversation about that. Real chill guy, real cool. And then some dude, some mouth breather walked up and was like, Patrick, can you sign my book? And then he was just like, all right, I'm going to leave now. And I was like, I completely understand. So yeah, I don't want to be that guy. Please, would you? I would like it if you would sign my T-shirt. I bought it at one of your shows and I've never washed it.
This is from 1976 when you came off stage in Knoxville at the state fair and you gave me a hug and I haven't washed this shirt since.
I wear it every day. Yeah. No, I'm not trying to be that
I didn't
guy.
know they made those like charcoal colored shirts. It's white.
Ooh. God.
I thought it was like a mint green. No, that's white.
Yeah, it's white tea. Ugh.
A plain white tea.
But yeah, so it's a fan convention for the fans, and yeah,
They're gonna get their money's worth.
they should. This is not a Fire Fest situation.
No, you're paying top dollar for this one.
Absolutely.
Whew, yeah.
So how we getting this one kicked off? Who gets to go first?
Dealer's choice. Go for it. Tell me.
Dealer's choice. All right. Here's what we are going to do. Here's
right.
what we're going to do. We are going to name the least likable celebrity we can think of. Least likable celebrity we can think of. And then we're just going to hash it out. Mano y mano. Mano a mano. Whatever. I took a lot of years of Spanish and I don't remember how it works. Mano a mano, we're going to work out whose celebrity is less likable.
Fuck.
Take a second. Just think about it. I'm going to be thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm out here looking for like somebody who really is just like, man, how even are they here? How did they get to this point? What even happened?
All right. So if you're watching our live stream, go ahead and comment. See what you know. Okay, I'm gonna say Nate.
All right, you win. You get to choose. You want to go first? You want to go second?
I'm gonna go second.
There you go. Fuck you, Nate. Oh shit!
And
although I do agree with Emily, I was actually going to go Gwyneth Paltrow because Gwyneth Paltrow is the worst, the actual worst. Because not only is Gwyneth Paltrow kind of an asshole, she's really, really convinced that she's not, and that everybody else is assholes. And I'm just like, what? You sell vagina eggs, jade vagina eggs,
and vagina scented candles.
Which, sorry, look. This is 2020.
If your vagina smells like fire and smoke, you need more than a jade egg.
I just don't appreciate. Imagine and I don't like to be that guy because, like, you know, I spend a lot of time on the internet. I spend a lot of time on like Reddit and shit where people like have conversations, and there's always that dude who shows up and is like, imagine if a guy did that. Oh, and you're like, yo, dude, I think you're just kind of sexist. We're talking about women right now. Stop making it about dudes. But okay, if I made a candle scented like my dick, it would not be okay. Period.
I'm just thinking a taint scented candle.
Yeah. No, no. If I was just like, I'm gonna make
Midsummer Musk.
oh, just gooch rot from under. Nobody's gonna be okay. Nobody's gonna just be like, oh yeah, I'll just see that David Miller put out a new candle. Smells like his dick.
How come nobody made a vagina smelling candle?
Exactly. Nobody's advocating for fucking dick smelling candles. Because of course, if I have a candle that smells like my dick, it's gonna be shaped like my dick. And then we got all kinds of problems. Now I'm being aggressive. People are like, ugh. Dicks don't smell like spoiled milk and vinegar? What? Chad, wash. Why is
I did recently.
I'm just saying, Emily's out here talking about spoiled milk and vinegar while we're having a conversation about dick candles. I'm concerned about you, bud. You might need to see a doctor.
Can't. Lockdown.
All right.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that doctor's appointment?
Yeah.
Virtually?
What's
on a video chat?
All right, Chad, I've been reviewing your chart and your medical history. Could you just let me know what problem you're having right now? Is everything okay? Are you okay?
Can you put the camera under your undercarriage and
yeah, I need to I want to see what's going on down there. Oh no. I'm going to need you to come in immediately. We're going to need to operate.
Oh man. Or if since we are on quarantine, maybe go to the Walmart, pick you up a power washer and get a friend or someone you trust. Just
no,
spray it down.
Look, jokes are jokes, but if somebody's out there trying to power wash a gooch, don't. You're just gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
You are gonna inundate your starfish with more water than you can handle. Okay, this isn't a bidet.
Whew. Lower it. All right.
What were we talking about? God.
You need to do your first pick.
Oh, right. For our fan convention. Okay. First pick's an easy one. All right. So for me, conventions revolve around a number of different areas. It's got to be music, movies, and then general celebrities across the board outside of that. Like if you go to a fan convention, what are the things that most people can get down with? Not everybody reads, not everybody plays video games, not everybody's into side things. Most people can get down at the very least with movies and or music, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with a movie star first.
Okay.
Right? So at my fan convention, I'm looking for somebody who's got widespread appeal that people are going to be like, yo, because again, even when you get to movie stars, there's a lot where people are like, take them or leave them. But there are certain ones where it's not just in America, but across the world, people are like, yo, that's my shit. My pick, number one at my fan convention, going to be doing a panel on action movies when you're not an action star. Action movies when you're not an action star. I'm going with Liam Neeson. Okay? Going with Liam Neeson.
Okay.
He's got super appeal. International,
Okay.
He's definitely people have watched Taken and all the other Takens and all the other movies that might as well be Taken, and they enjoy them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, are we going to run into a contingent who might be like Liam Neeson? He tried to hunt down black people. He tried to hunt down black people. I mean, sure that happened. But are we going to hold it against Liam Neeson that he tried to hunt down any old black man who might happen to be around out of revenge? He's the revenge movie star. What else do you expect? It's method acting. I don't know what you want from me.
I would go see that.
For those of you who don't know, Liam Neeson at one point had a friend who was assaulted. I don't know that I can't remember the degree of the assault, but it was sexual in nature. And he was informed. He found out that it was a black man. Now, mind you, this was in like Dublin or some shit. Yeah, and he was a very young man. And he found out that it may or probably definitely was a black man. And he decided to hit the streets and act like a dickhead to every black person he saw, hoping that somebody would start some shit so he could end some shit, if you know what I mean.
Because he has a particular set of skills.
Absolutely. I will hunt you, and I will find you. So yeah, we can put that part aside, though, because that was when he was young. And we'll talk about Liam Neeson of what? How old is he? I don't actually know. Liam Neeson's probably, what, in his 60s?
At least.
Yeah. But, yeah, I got Liam Neeson. He's going to be giving a talk on being an action star when you're not an action star. Because if you look at those movies, he's not doing anything crazy. He's not doing anything over the top. But those, I think, are considered action movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my first pick is Liam Neeson giving us a good old TED Talk on being in action when you don't do action.
And he could kind of base that off of his early years.
Well,
and he kind of leans into that as his inspiration to want to do action movies.
It might be like, look, you take the movie Taken and you just like extrapolate from that, like, well, where did he learn to hunt down other human beings? Where did he learn that anger at a wrong that needs to be righted? Probably pulling, just like the entire time he's doing that movie, he's probably in his head thinking, you know what? I'm going to kill me a black man today. Listen, we're going to talk about Liam Neeson's. The Liam Neesons.
So in the comments here, Emily, shout out to Emily from last week, my wife, she brings up a good point. I can't remember if she was the original supermodel. Janice Dickinson did a memoir of Hollywood, a tell-all book, if you will. And in it, she said that Liam Neeson has the biggest penis in Hollywood.
Okay, what time?
She compared it to an Avion bottle.
What time period?
The what?
What time period is this she talk about in her?
This was the 90s.
The 90s?
Yeah.
All right. It's still questionable. I'm sorry. It's still questionable. Because look, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Like the 90s were still kind of for interracial relationships. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't see, other dicks. How many dicks did she see?
Oh, I'm pretty sure she saw. No.
Dicks. An Avion bottle? Oh, hold on. I gotta.
He's Googling right now. How big is Liam Neeson's cock?
Wait, so an Avion bottle seems like it's like the same size as other water bottles. Did either of them have like a sponsorship with Evian?
Who knows?
That's just a weird comparison.
It's weird. It is.
Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah. Right. So Yeah. I could see him up there though, like doing that speed, how I got into action movies, why I want to do action movies, even though I'm not an action star.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes back to his past, and the booker for the event is standing in the back, just kind of wide-eyed, going, "Oh my God, thank God he didn't bring his sheet."
I mean, you saw when he presented, like when he talked about it, no fucking remorse. And I get it. Like he was like, "Yo, that was a thing that happened when I was younger. I was not successful, and that's not who I am anymore." And like genuinely, I dig that. Because like people gave him shit about it, and I'm like, yo, but he grew. Like, yeah, what he did was fucked up. Like it was crazy. Like that's a crazy thing to do, right? But at the same time, I did a lot of shit that was stupid when I was younger, and I no longer think the same way or would want to do the same things that I did when I was younger. And I should be able to admit that and be like, when I was younger, I was a dickhead. But I'm not that person anymore. I feel like he should be able to do that. So Liam Neeson's, you're invited to the Perfect Fan Convention.
So mine is from a booker standpoint.
Okay.
I'm trying to find talent. I want to sell tickets at a cost. I'm going to pull out all the stops. I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to book people that people will come to see.
All right.
Whatever they want to do, I'm down with.
All right.
But I want it to be fun and I want it to be entertaining.
Right.
Like you said, there's sections to a convention. Famously, you'll go to like at a Comic-Con, you'll have like the artist gallery, and maybe you'll have some of the movie cars or the TV cars off to one section and stuff.
Right.
What I'm thinking is somewhere right near the front, right when you walk in the door, I want a petting zoo.
Okay.
I'd like a nice, big petting zoo. And I want it to be curated, ran, and otherwise owned and operated by that bitch Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskins.
That's what I want. I want her there in her flowery dress and her flowers in her hair.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's like a snack bar adjacent and that she runs to.
Yeah.
And get fresh hamburgers.
I think you
nothing but the finest ground meat.
Yeah.
She doesn't say beef. She just says it's ground meat.
Yeah. We don't need to specify the meat.
Where it came from.
Yeah. Also,
who it is.
There's a whole lot of
allegedly
with having Carol Baskins there as well, because at any given moment, you might get some sort of methed up Joe Exotic showing up.
Early release, he shows up.
And he wants to throw down, and you're just like, oh, whoa. We're enjoying these tasty Baskins burgers.
Baskin burgers.
Cut it out. We're having a good time. Yeah, no. I would love it. It is for everybody too. It's for the kids. They can enjoy Big Cat Rescue. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. If you don't know what we're talking about, Tiger King on Netflix documentary.
It doesn't focus on Carol Baskin. Yeah, it doesn't focus on Carol Baskin, but I've never seen a better example of a real life human being having a nemesis. Like usually I would reserve that word for some fucking fantasy movie shit, but no. This is a real life human being with a nemesis, and they're both ridiculous people, which is awesome.
It was like a train wreck, you just could not look away.
You know what I'm super excited about? And Nate filled me in on this one. Tiger King, the Tiger King show, starring my boy, the great Nicolas Cage.
No.
I'm on board. You kidding me?
Oh my God.
Who's
The workout he's going to have to do to get in shape to pull off Joe Exotic. I mean, he's going to have to go on no, I can't even make the joke. I can't even say that he's going on a strict diet of scenery for the next 6 months. I mean, it is, I mean, if anybody can pull off Joe Exotic, it's Nick Cage.
You know what we should do? Oh shit, you know what we should do? We should do a casting episode.
Of the Joe Exotic show.
Of the Joe Exotic show. I'm not even joking.
All right, I'm down with that. There you go. Future episode right there.
Because we got plenty of people. We got so many people. We got I'm going to mute myself for a second.
I don't know if he's laughing or dying.
Both. I know this is 2020 and I'm going to say this, and at some point in the future when we're playing at the Garden, somebody's going to have a sign up about this comment, and I'm just going to have to ignore it in the paparazzi as well when they ask about it. But is that a chick or a dude that got their arm ripped off? I'm not joking. I don't know.
It was a woman that identifies as a man.
Ah, see?
There you go. So
my confusion is warranted. I now know.
Both is your answer.
I now know, and I can properly
address him. Even though they kept calling him her.
Yeah.
During the whole show.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that individual who needs to be cast. We got Carol Baskins. We got Joe Exotic, because we're not allowed to use Nick Cage because it's too easy. We got so many people. We got his husbands.
So many husbands.
Come on. So yeah.
I'm down.
All right. But I'm down for having Carol Baskins petting Zoo. Wow.
Yeah.
100%. All right. Fair enough.
I think when the flyers, the advertisements for this start coming out, people are going to start getting uncomfortable.
They might. To that end, there's multiple levels to filmmaking, right?
Yes.
So as a part of that track, I don't want to just have everything come from the perspective of the actors, although because we often get to hear from actors about working on things and learning to be their character, learning to live in the world that they're set in, if it's like fantasy or it's a period piece or anything like that. But I've always been very interested in the director. You get to a point where you have to envision this thing. You have to have an idea in your head about what this is going to look like. And then you have to get everybody else on board for it. You got to wrangle everybody else. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
So I think it's tough. I think it's got to be super tough. And then just seeing somebody who's got a mind for that, who's got the ability to do that, I think that's really fascinating. And so if there's anybody who I'd want to give a panel and just listen to them talk about how they see the world and how they interact with it, and where they see problems, where they see opportunities, and all that good stuff, it would be from the director. And so I want to have a director's panel. Excuse me. And who better to really, really dive into what it's like to be a director and has multiple different facets of the business and working on passion projects than Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson has worked on The Passion of the Christ, which has got to be a huge passion project. You're making something biblical. People are going to come after you, right?
Absolutely.
You can't just throw that out there. People who are religious are gonna be like coming at your throat. You got to do that correctly. People who are not religious are gonna be like, oh boy, this. So you got to be able to make something for everybody. And I feel like the best way to be able to make something for everybody is to really understand everybody, like where everybody is, how they operate, and just have a good idea for like diversity. And I feel like Mel Gibson has a great head for diversity. You know, he loves everybody. So
No, he doesn't.
what are you talking about?
No, he's great. No.
I mean, like, yeah, if you want to like take out of context the whole his wife having some sort of affinity for darker skinned men, you know, sure, we could just blow that out.
Who doesn't? Okay,
Who doesn't? You know what I mean? Like, listen, if there's anything I've learned in my life, that there are, wow, I'm gonna get, this is gonna tank my senatorship for sure. But if I've learned anything in my life, there are two types of women: women who are interested in black men, and liars. There's always an interest. Forbidden fruits. In any case, now look, yeah, okay. Is Mel Gibson problematic at times? Has he been in his career? Sure. You know, he's got a lot to say about black people. He's got a lot to say about Jewish people. But, you know,
surprisingly, because he did Passion of the Christ.
Honestly, you know, if we were to just be fair for a minute, it might be that if you look at the story of Christ, who's the one that's going after him? It's Jews. Just so you know. Just so you know. So his position is fucked up. That's it. His position's fucked up. But we can learn a lot from Mel Gibson. So,
too much.
A lot of things we probably don't want to learn from Mel Gibson, just to be honest there.
Did you ever see the movie The Beaver with him?
Mm-mm.
I dare call that an autobiography of him. It is a guy who I can't remember the setup.
Okay.
The exact setup to how it goes down. But it's a guy who gets divorced. I'm going to do as close as I can to what it was. He gets divorced and he finds this puppet of a beaver in the trash.
All right.
And he puts it on and starts talking to it. And it becomes like his evil side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super meta, it's super dark, and it's really a good movie though. It's called The Beaver with
right.
Mel Gibson. And he does some kind of a British accent for when he talks as the beaver, but it's a dark comedy, but it's like almost it's not that different kind of dark, but it's like kind of him unraveling is similar to when Joaquin Phoenix unravels in Joker.
Gotcha.
Where it's just
that movie.
Yeah, it's yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
I still need to see that movie. And
yes, you do.
On that note, I want to blame all the people who've hyped up that movie for me not having seen that movie. It's your fault that I haven't seen it.
Why?
Because I don't like obtuse answers. And when I say, is this a Joker movie? And they go, yeah, but no, but yeah. And I'm like, don't you do that to me. Don't you do it. Is this a movie about the Joker? Or is this some other shit that uses the word? And then they go, well, it's a Joker movie. And I'm like, fuck you. Stop. Is it a Joker movie?
It's a fan service. Tony could probably give you the breakdown if he's still there, but it's a fan service origin story to a character that never really had an origin story.
Okay. See, I can get behind that.
Yeah,
I can get behind that answer. Thank you. It'll probably still be a while before I watch it, but I will. In any case, your second pick. 46 minutes in, and you're on your second pick.
Oh, that's okay. We were let me tell you, because the last episode that I spent 3 days editing, finished at 2 a.m. That's why I've got this beautiful luggage under my eyes on the live feed. It was, we were 38 minutes in before we made the first pick.
Damn.
So,
all right. Fair enough.
So, not worried about it.
All right.
Okay, so we've got you've got movies covered. I've got TV covered. I want to jump into sports.
Okay.
If we're gonna do all facets, it's a fan convention, not a TV convention, a movie convention. It's fans. I'm gonna go with sports. And it's so cliche to have a sports figure give a speech, like a TED Talk or anything like that.
Okay.
Because you've heard them all before. You've heard all the inspirational speeches that athletes give. And they're all, doesn't matter who the celebrity is, you put them out there and they say, from a young age, we'll say football. Football is all I knew. I would get up in the morning and I would play football, and I would eat lunch, and then I'd go play football. And high school, it was football. I would do football day and night.
Right.
And so I want somebody to get up and give a nice talk that's going to be the exact opposite of that.
Okay.
And it's called When Not to Do Football with the great Ray Rice.
Oh. All right.
Because famously, his whole life did football.
Yeah.
And then one night, he did football when he was supposed to be doing an elevator. Sorry, too soon, Ravens fan?
So, okay. 2 things. 1, you're not allowed to do that in football. He wasn't doing football.
That's right.
And 2,
no, he was doing football. All he knows is to do football. When you're in an elevator with a woman, you don't do football.
No, you're supposed to do elevator in the elevator. I think he does have a unique perspective on that, in that he probably would be really good at least at this point, from what he's learned. When is it appropriate to do football? And when is it not appropriate to do football?
Yeah.
And putting somebody on the ground, not elevator appropriate.
No, not when you're in an elevator with a woman.
To be fair to Ray Rice, he didn't leave her there.
No.
No, he was gentlemanly enough to make sure she got out of the elevator. He could have just left her in the elevator, but he didn't. Pulled her right on out by her feet.
You see it a lot, though. You see it a lot. And so I think it would be a beneficial talk to have.
Wait, is there a lot of football going on in elevators?
Not necessarily, you'll see it on the news, and now whenever you see it, this is all you'll think of. And shout out to comedian Neil Brennan for the idea behind this. But when you see a headline that's NFL star arrested for assault outside of a restaurant, and it's like, God damn it, he should have did restaurant and not football.
Oh Lord!
You know why you're under arrest? Yes, I was supposed to do restaurant and I was doing football. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't laugh at this. We totally should.
No, it's inappropriate. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. That's it. It's wrong. It's not funny at all. It's really not. It's not. It's not. Don't at me. Seriously.
In fact, if you're somebody that's easily triggered,
see you next week.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
It's really just like, look, sometimes football players get confused.
Yeah. Too many knocks in the head, too many concussions.
They make all the money doing football, and they get all
they're not doing football. They've got so much time off.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
you got to stay in practice.
They're told to stay in shape. Sometimes maybe they just fall into that, and then they do football when they're not.
Now Gronk did it right. Off season, he did wrestling when he was because he couldn't do football.
Yeah, it's honestly, you know what? If we just created an off-season league, a wrestling association for football players in the off-season,
there you go.
We could avoid all of this accidental footballing when they're supposed to be doing other things.
Yeah.
All right.
And that is what the don't do football movement is all about.
Don't do football when you're supposed to do other things.
That's right.
I can get behind that sentiment and get 100% behind that sentiment. All right. So third pick. Easy pick. We've had a lot of people who are just like kind of really immersed in their fields, and we're probably going to get a lot of real like serious talks here, like people who want to present to you, this is how I engage in my craft, or here's a story about what I learned. And it's going to be very valuable for people in order to get an insight into that person. But fan conventions are about more than just learning their craft. Sometimes it's about entertainment. And so I want an entertainer. I want somebody who's going to be out here giving people a reason to visit. That's not just, I'm going to learn something. And so I definitely think that one of the pieces of common ground that a lot of people can find is in comedy. And so I think that we need to have at least one comedian. And there's no better comedian I can think of who's just like in with the rest of our crowd, like knows actors, knows directors, knows sports stars, and has worked with them. No better than Louis C.K. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's had his own show. There were a decent number of other celebrities on the show besides like the regular actors that were, trying to get by and make a living, and maybe some younger actors who were coming up in the world trying to make their place. He helped them to make their way in the world. So, not only do we get the entertainment piece where he gets to do his, stand up, but we also, if you run into him, you might be able to be like, hey, Louis, I'm really interested in breaking into the business. Is there any way you can help me out? Anything that you can do for me? I'd be really willing to do something for you in return if you could just help me.
Yeah. It'd be great exposure.
Like wonderful exposure. Like honestly, it's like when you're breaking in.
And he's all about exposure.
I mean, that's what you're looking for. If you go to Louis and you're like, can you help me out? You got to expect he's going to do whatever he can to get you as much exposure as possible, but he's not going to the best part is he's not going to try and put it out there unless he knows it's really going to work. He's only going to put it out there if it's really going to be beneficial.
And he needs exposure right now.
Honestly, I think that the most upsetting thing is recently he's taken a beating, and I think if he could just expose himself a little more to everyone will really see what he's about, and then they'd know. So I'm going with Louis C.K. Super funny, always helpful, always willing to, really expose who he is to the world.
Okay. So I will say that's a great pick. One of my favorite comedians ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it lends well to my next pick.
Okay.
But before I do that, let's take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. And we're back. I just love how that works.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so before the break, you were talking about Louis C.K.
Yeah, I think he's just a fantastic comedian. Really understands his audience. Really has great stories, and like I said, he's always willing to do whatever he can to help break other people into the business.
This so my pick is right around that the same lines. It's an inspirational moment of the night. Another one of those big TED Talk style things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've given it a name. And I've decided to call it because fans just, that's why they're there. And it's called Your Big Break: Becoming Hollywood's Next A-List Celebrity.
Okay. With
career coach Harvey Weinstein.
I mean, who's brought more people into the business and prepared them for what they were going to have to do to succeed than Harvey?
Absolutely.
He made sure they understood the hard work they were going to have to put in, the horrors they might have to face.
They have to follow direction.
Clearly.
They have to be willing to do anything to succeed.
Absolutely.
At all costs.
At all costs.
They have to be flexible.
Really flexible, honestly. Sometimes it's just things are going to come up and you're just not going to know what's going on. And you just got to be willing to roll with those punches.
Yeah. And now he's got some flack lately, but sure. I will say that there are things I don't agree with what he's done in his life choices.
Oh, sure. He's made some bad choices every now and then.
Yeah. It's okay to love your plants, but it's not okay to love your plants.
Right.
So just knock it off.
Knock it off. Cut it out.
Knock it off, Harvey. So, yeah.
And I think that's important is that we all let him know, because he gets up to his mischief. We got to tell him, knock it off, cut it out. So That's a TED Talk and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Numero cuatro. Methinks that I'm going to dive into an area that we haven't touched yet and is super important, and that's music, clearly. You're going to have a fan convention that needs to be, well, there needs to be entertainment for the music heads, you know? And there's all kinds. Like, they come from all different directions. They love what they love. And that's an interesting thing about music fans. I think there's so much more stratification of music fans than when you get into like movies. There's so much crossover. You know, horror movie fans will still watch an action movie. Action movie fans will still watch a rom-com every now and then. But how, or at least at a certain point, there are fewer, you know, metalheads that are going to be listening to hip hop, or hip hop heads that are going to be listening to country. It's a lot more separated, but there are, you know, there are some people that just cross boundaries. There are some people that reach heights that are just wild. You know what I mean? They just get to a place where nobody wants to tell them no. Nobody says you can't do that. And so they cross these boundaries and they go to these places where you're just like, damn, I never thought they would go there. And so I'm going to bring on one of the most prolific artists of, I don't know, maybe a decade and a half, 2 decades? A decade and a half, at least. And that's R. Kelly. The man is an absolute genius when it comes to making love songs. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And it's just the hits just flow out of him.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He makes songs and you're like, what? In your mind, you're like, he's got to be singing this to someone he really, really, really cares about, somebody he's really attracted to. And so you think to yourself, man, he must really love his wife. He must really love his wife and his life in order to make songs like this, because they're raunchy, they are charged. And you're like, well, clearly he is just so attracted to the sexual energy and youth of his wife that he can't help himself.
Yeah. It's, I mean, not a woman.
Right.
But you think that, you know, a man wrote a song for you, to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the shower and it's just running down on you and you hear that song come on.
It's like, it makes you feel like you're the most valuable thing in the room. Like you're made of solid gold. This is just a shower of solid gold directly on you, just raining down all of the love, all of the energy, everything's raining down on you, just glittering golden shower of love all over you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Man's got a lot of passion.
It does. It does.
Put on a couple concerts.
Oh, I gotta
put on a couple concerts, and he'll, you know, everybody will have fun.
Yep.
All right. What do you got?
All right. For my next one, I like the motivational speakers. They've been places most people have never been before.
Mm-hmm.
They've overcome challenges and they've done everything they could to survive, to become who they are and what they are. Hang on a second. I'll cut this out in post. Video people. enjoy this while I'm texting. Um, uh-huh.
It's over there, probably making moves, being a mogul.
Being inspirational, doing whatever it takes.
Man, I love inspirational speeches for real and actually. I'm going to put this out here because by getting it off my chest, I will free myself from the shackles of Nate and my buddy Jason, who hold this over my head all the time. But now the truth shall set me free. I get really, really emotional at bromance and otherwise cutscenes.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch like Rogue One, the dude who had like the minigun and the old blind guy. I'll see them like interacting at the end, and I fell to pieces. I fell to pieces. So just putting that out there. Just wanted everybody to know that so that they can no longer threaten me with these things with exposure. In any case, you were saying.
So my fourth pick is somebody that is this speech in particular is one that I think needs to be heard by the masses. Everybody's wanted to hear this. Mm-hmm. This is an unlikely success story. And it's a story that I would love to hear in person. I would love to hear, period. And it's success in Hollywood is not a lottery. It's I mean, it is, it's a 1 in a million that you're going to become, Oscar worthy or Grammy worthy. But I mean, somebody that has had, I think both, at least nominated for an Academy Award, definitely won a Grammy. But I want this speech so bad. I want to hear the TED Talk, the speech of, I did it. Why can't you? Or I did it. This is how you can do it too. Courtney Love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And you know what the best part is? She's really, really, really going to have a great time having her long-term reunion with Harvey.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're best buds, but they don't get to see each other very often. So it's like you get those moments where they like maybe pass each other in the hallway and people get to see their interactions, or they get to talk about how they met and how much of an influence he was and all that good stuff. Mm. And then at the same time, we get these separate stories where she gets to talk about all the things that she's done that are exceptional. It's really exceptional.
I want to see her standing on a stage in front of thousands and thousands of fans and just say, I did it. I did it. This is how I did it.
You can do it too.
You can do it too.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. It works out in the end. You can be just like me. You can do it and nobody's going to get in your way.
Yeah.
I did it. Why can't you?
I 100% agree.
I got goosebumps right now just thinking about that.
And you know what? I want this to be a tandem. Because she represents a large part of the country, but I need full representation. But in this, I did it. You can too. Don't worry about it. It's gonna work out for you. And to like fully represent the spectrum, we have a Caucasian woman, right? We need to have an African American male. We'll hit the whole spectrum. And who better to represent? I did it. I made it. I was there, and you can do it. You can get there. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen next. More than O.J. Simpson.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, he's the juice. Talk about somebody who made it. Like, that is a big place that he made. Like, he got there, man. He got there. He was big.
I can't just the two of them together, just getting up there and all the inspiration of just, I did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Did it. Look at us. Look how different we are. We did it.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. And other people will just be like, they did it. Why can't I?
Yeah. It's like, look at them. They're on stage now.
Yeah.
Years later.
I could be there.
Years later. Just standing on stage.
They're no better or worse than me.
It's like 1994 again, and they're just up there just
having a good time.
94 was a great year. We both started our paths the same year.
We got there.
We got there.
We made it happen.
Yeah. It's a success story that needs to be told.
Yeah. So yeah, I there could be no other fifth pick for me in relation to that than those two paired up. So pretty quickly back to you. What's your fifth pick?
Oh, it is. It is my time for my
fifth and final.
Fifth and final. Holy buckets. I don't know. Some of the things that are going to be talked about, I don't think are going to be appropriate for young children.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we've got the petting zoo to keep them distracted. But at this convention, don't worry, we got the kids covered. Because we have a state-of-the-art childcare area, a daycare, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's included in the price of admission, and it's all part of the experience. You don't want your kids, whatever your viewpoints are on some of the people we've mentioned tonight, it's fine.
All right.
Because push comes to shove, you can always send your kids over to the Casey Anthony Daycare Center.
Yo, see, that is looking out for your fans.
That's right.
This is some borderline Throwback Thursday stuff. This is, we want you to be able to have a good time and not be distracted worrying about, what's going on with your kids. Are they going to be okay? Anything like that. You put them over at the Casey Anthony Daycare Center. You got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
You got nothing to worry about. She's a mom.
She's a mom.
She's a mom. She knows the.
There are thousands of people there. What's she gonna do?
Yeah.
She understands that you need to get away from your kids so you can party.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna have a good time.
And
everybody's gonna have a good time.
She understands the pain of loss. So she's gonna make sure you don't experience that.
That's right.
She's like, it happened to me, and I hated it. It was awful. You
can come in, drop your kids off, maybe put them at the arts and crafts table, maybe get them a juice box or something.
Mm-hmm.
Stop up, maybe get a picture, get an autograph, and then hit the convention floor.
Yep.
Included in the price of admission. I love it.
Of course.
Plain and simple.
super simple. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
Fuck, man. Oh my god. Oh, we're terrible. We're terrible people.
That's all right.
Oh man.
We'll keep running with it.
You know,
We'll see. I'll cut this up. Nobody will ever know the difference.
plenty of people have told me you would make a good politician, and I tell them no. Absolutely not. Never. All right. So, did we leave any on the table? Great guest.
I think a nice addition to OJ and Courtney Love would be Robert Blake.
Oh, yeah. Not a bad choice.
Phil Spector's in jail.
True.
So I don't think he would be a good addition to that. But he has a success story of his own.
I thought for a good another comedian, which would be again good for the kids, probably over at the Casey Anthony Center, would be Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, maybe. I see him more in like if they're doing advanced screenings of movies, watch-alongs kind of thing.
Yeah, watch along.
You just sit in the theater with Pee Wee, watch a movie.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, he's an artist. He's definitely an artist. So, you sit by him.
And another one that I thought about, just like as a who you gonna pair musically with the talents of R. Kelly, you got to go with like a modern version of that prolific R&B singer. So I was like, Chris Brown. Everybody loves Chris Brown. The dude can sing, he can dance his ass off. That's gonna be a show.
Oh, absolutely.
Chris Brown, man. Dude's got real skills.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I totally like it. To recap, let's see who will be appearing at the Perfect Package Podcast fan convention, the Perfect Fan Fest, the Fan Fest. We've got a petting zoo with Carol Baskin, Netflix original Carol Baskin is there. Don't worry about the kids because they can hang out in the Casey Anthony Daycare Center. And then we will have our keynote speakers, Liam Neeson, Mel Gibson, Louis C.K., Ray Rice, Harvey Weinstein will be there giving a speech. R. Kelly, maybe speaking, doing some performing. Also speaking and performing is Courtney Love, but let's not forget the top billed attraction of the night is the motivational seminar, if you will, of Courtney Love and O.J. Simpson. The "We Did It, So Can You." It's amazing.
Fantastic.
Just take my money right now.
I'd go.
I would go too.
I would take my kids. I'd take my family. I would take everyone that I knew and loved that could afford to go. I'd be like, hey, let's make this a family trip.
Absolutely.
So I'm on board.
I'm down with it. On board. All right. So that wraps it up for another episode of the Perfect Package Podcast, powered by Poddex. Poddex.com. And don't forget to use the promo code P3Show at checkout. Save 10% on a purchase there. Get together with your friends. Ask them some questions. Maybe a would you rather kind of situation for the night. Have a good time. That's on us. Not on us. You got to pay for the rest. But
yeah,
10%, man. P3Show. That's the code. That will be in the show notes. Also a link to poddex.com if you can't figure out how to do poddex.com. Don't forget p3show.threadless.com. Pick up your t-shirts. Perfect Package Podcast t-shirts, and newly added from last week, get yourself a regular boner shirt. We will do anything.
Got no problems with it.
Yeah. It's all about capitalism. Anyway, so that is it. Hey, we're gonna start a new thing maybe next week.
Yeah.
We put out a call, and we'll post it on our Facebook page sometime this week. Probably, I'm thinking Thursday, but we still have it. Nobody uses it, but the 707 package where you can call in. We've got, I'll be posting a link where you can go and leave a message for the show, kind of like what Dave does at the end of the show with his little PSA. You get 90 seconds, say what you want. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to download anything. Just click the link, push record. If you're on your device, your phone, your tablet, if you're on your computer with a microphone like we are, you can do that too. And just record a 90-second message, and we're going to start working them into future episodes. And, and next week, I think next week we're going to just sit down and rap about all the goings on recently. Kind of take a break from the show for just a minute. It's going to be episode 35, so a semi-milestone episode. At least it's a multiple of 5. So
yeah, I hate multiples of 5 where you can't just be like, it's a nice round number. Fuck, it's not.
It's not a round number, but it's not an even number, but it's a nice stopping point. Just take a minute, kind of pause and talk about, the last few months, about what, just kind of a sounding board. We'll talk about it, and maybe we'll open it up for maybe some people to chime in and talk with us. So since we're streaming this live, we might as well. That might be a fun thing to do. So we're at least going to do next week on a live stream, maybe the following week too, and then I think we're going to put the live stream to bed for a little while. And just save it for special occasions. If you guys really dig it, then we'll continue to do it. And maybe when this all blows over, we'll start doing some live shows out and about. But I've been having fun doing this. But life calls. We don't always have Monday nights to sit around and talk to you folks. No offense, but we got shit to do. See, I just fucked it up because I don't think we've cursed this whole episode.
Are you out of your mind?
I'm gonna get. I'll know when I go back to edit this.
I most definitely have.
Okay,
I can tell you that.
All right.
I cursed like
So
a
watch the Facebook page. We'll do the question of the day, courtesy of Poddex, and we will be pushing out that voicemail where you can chime in and do like a PSA, and then tune in next Monday night. We will maybe open it up so people can get on here and chat with us, talk about what you're going through, what's happening, and we'll just kind of make it an open forum for the night and release it in the live feed for everybody to hear. So we'll see how that goes. With that being said, Dave, give us one of your signature PSAs to throw us out into the world tonight.
Yeah. Don't hate us. We're not terrible people. These were jokes.
Or were they?
No, they were jokes. They were jokes.
I don't think it was jokes. I, listener at home or viewer at home, which as of right now, it looks like there are none. I think you should do a different one and not say that. And we just leave this as we breeze through it. Everybody knew what we were talking about, but
oh boy. All right. So here's the thing. Something that I've had to deal with recently that is just absolute nonsense is people breezing past in your blind spot. Don't do that. Everybody knows where the blind spot is. You have one in your car. I have one in my car. Don't chill in my blind spot and then get mad when I almost run you off the road because I need to switch lanes. I can't fucking see you. Get over. Drive faster, drive slower. Don't stay in my blind spot. That's a dick move. So I've not run anybody off the road. And if I have, you'll never find them. So stop looking.
That's it for this week. And until next time, if there is a next time, we'll talk to you then.
Deuces.